there, Ruda here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back again. And if you're a newcomer, welcome to my channel, and I hope you like this video. And if you do, feel free to subscribe, comment and like. For my video today, I am going to keep it very short. I just broke my ring light, so I'm not sure if you can notice, but I think the video is a bit wonky. So I'm going to make it as quick as I can, just in case it falls again. So for my book review today, I'm doing R is for Rain, still part of the Visa series. This is the third book. I think the fourth one is coming out sometime this year, as I mentioned before. So R is for Rain, this is now from Darien's perspective. So he's the one who's now telling the story in this book. The first one was more of the narrator. The second one was Rain, when she was talking about Darien, and then this one is from Darien's perspective. Sometimes Rain is in there, here and there when she's talking about, but it's mostly Darien who's telling his story. So in this book we get to learn more about Darien's background. So he's part of he's a spy. That explains why sometimes it's just MIA, sometimes why you don't Rain couldn't understand why he was just disappearing for a long time and then coming back again. So he wasn't ghosting her, thank God for that. And was actually going on missions where he had to do all spy things, whatever that is. And I think the last part he had we found out that Theo, who is Rain's ex-fiance, was actually also a spy, and Darien was now the one who was after him. They were actually looking for him. So it was very interesting in that part, because now her two lovers, in quotes, were now against each other, not only because of her but also because of their jobs and all of that. So in this book, Darien's he kind of expresses himself, explains himself why it's very hard for him to get in a relationship. He loves Rain, but because of how he grew up, how his job is very hard for him to have a normal life. It's hard for him to just be still. It's hard for him to actually think of having a normal life, because in this book you found out that he's actually planning on building a house, but because of his job he's forever going on missions. It's very hard for him to establish have a normal family life where he has a wife and kids. And for Rain, it's something that she's always wanted, because she's family oriented, so it's very hard for her to imagine such a life, but they kind of work it out. And also, as I said before, rated 18 this book. Okay, if you're under 18, please stop watching from here, because this book talks about sex in a very positive way, which is very rare. Not very rare per se, but most books in African literature, most books that I've experienced, when it comes to sex, sometimes it's more from how do I say this, it's more of it's a duty. When it comes to this series, it's a pleasure, and it's not only from Darien's perspective. He's actually working towards pleasing Rain, which was very refreshing. We're all adults here. I'm sure we're all adults here. So it was very good and very inspiring, because I'm also trying to kind of write those kind of books where you have this positive view on sex when it comes to African women. So it was very interesting, and also how he was taking care of her. First of all, this guy is into this nasty stuff. He's into BDMS. So if you're someone who's into that, so you might actually like this. And he introduces her to this kind of things. So vibrating balls, tying her up, which I've learned that you actually need to do research about. You just don't do it from your head. Not talking from experience or anything, but I read a lot. Okay, I read a lot. But yeah, so for me it was very good. When it came to that, when the sex talk, it wasn't more of forced. I don't know if you've read books The Secret Lives of Baba Segi's Wife. The sex talk was more of from a forced point of view, which there's nothing wrong with that, because they're different stories, but I'm just trying to help you understand what exactly it is. Whereas from this perspective, it's more from a pleasure. He's actually talking it through the orgasm. He's actually like taking care of her, asking if she's okay when they're doing the deed, you know, all those kind of things, like reassuring her, that kind of thing, which I know like a lot of women like. So yeah, there's that. So as time goes, they start to like plan their lives, not like audibly, if I should say. It was more of like a body language kind of thing, where Darien knows what Rain wants, Rain knows what she wants, but she knows also what she can get. She can't get all of him because of his job, so he has this persona who's the hunter. The hunter is the one who goes when he's on his missions. He's like the one who's like cold stoned, the one who has a barrier who you can't get through to, who's very serious, who's very commanding on all of that. And then there is Darien, the smushy, you know, lovable guy. And because of that persona, it's kind of hard for him to, you know, to show the Darien, because he's 90% the hunter. So it was very interesting because, you know, as I said before, this book, it was different from what I've read when it comes to African literature, which is amazing, because we need different kinds of genres. So because what I've noticed when it comes to African literature, there isn't really, there aren't a lot of genres. Like when you say African literature, most people they don't really talk about like romance or thriller or horror. It's mostly on the basis of like educational or historical events, drama, that kind of thing. That's mainly what African literature is known about. So having these books is very, very refreshing. Also books like where is it, Nearly All Men in Lagos, mad. It also has those kind of stories, those steamy stories. I'll be reviewing it soon. Let me just get my things in order. I need to get a new ring light first of all. And it also talks about sex in a very positive way, and it's from a woman's perspective, because mostly I think most books, when they talk about sex, it's mostly to please the man, which I for one am not for. Okay, I think like both parties should come out of it happy, you know. So these kind of books, like, they really talk about sex like in depth. I'll rip it out when it comes to this topic, but that's mostly like what I really enjoyed about this book, how it's very positive in that way, and it's not from like a shameful place. It's more from like an educational place, if I should say. So there's also that, and also like Rain, how she's like infused into Darien's world. So now he's actually teaching her how to get into the bunker when something bad happens, because one time there's actually like a shootout at Darien's house. So now he has to teach Rain all those kind of things. And then as the book goes, it's very interesting. Like there's never a point where I was like, okay, I'm getting bored. I think the writer, when she wrote this book, she did a lot of research on like people were spies, or maybe she's one. I'm joking, but she really put so much detail that it's easier even for a first-time reader to understand things which do have to do with spies. I'm not really into, you know, those kind of spy movies, or, you know, 007. I think the last 007 I watched was like the Halle Berry one years ago. So it was very good that, you know, she made it very simple for those who don't watch those kind of things to kind of understand. And then at the end, they get engaged. Yeah. I'm hopeless romantic, okay? Like Darien, I literally fell in love with Darien, okay? Like I have this thing of getting attached to characters. Like when I read a book, I'm like in the world, I'm like infused into the world. So this Darien, loved him, fell in love with the guy. Not his mom though, the mom was racist. And I liked how he stood up for her. He stood up for Rain. Like when she was saying like, oh, you know, you're not compatible because of your backgrounds, because of different cultures, because of like, all she wanted to say was like, okay, she's black, how is she going to fit into our world? Because they're like these mega rich people who have like tea with the queen. So he like literally put his foot down and was like, yeah, mom, you have to leave, you have to go. And he wasn't joking. She literally had to leave the next day. So I really loved that he actually stood up for Rain, and she was just a girlfriend. It's not like she's a fiance or a wife. She was literally just his girlfriend. So like those kind of things about Darien, which actually stood out for me, made me fall in love with him. I know it's crazy, but most readers or book reviewers, if I should say, most people who love reading and reviewing books, they fall in love with characters, like they get attached to characters. I do. I'm so passionate about this. Like, this is exactly the reason why I had to start this channel, because I was like, I need more people to know that Africans are doing the most when it comes to books. And yeah, I think that's pretty much what I have to say, mostly because I don't want my ring light to fall again whilst I'm in the middle of doing a video. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. When I get a ring light, I'm going to do my best to do more detailed book reviews. Like, I feel like the last couple of weeks I've just been narrating books, which is not really me, but we're on the verge of 4. That could be it again. So yeah, so thank you so much for watching my video. I will try and do more justice to the following videos. It's just, you know, sometimes I'm human. Sometimes I have those days when I forget what I was supposed to talk about, and then I just go on and go on and go on and go on. But thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye.